You guys must have probably watched the 1967 Jungle Book movie at least once. But do you guys know that there was a Jungle Book TV show and it was a Japanese shonen? That's right. As a child growing up in India in 90s, every Sundays we would get to watch 2 hours of cartoons on DD channel. For the people watching from different parts of the world, in India it basically was a channel operated by government and it was free. It was also known as Doordarshan. Now this was before Cartoon Network ever came to India, and at the time there was no 24-hour cartoon channels like you have now. So we would get to watch cartoons continuously one after the other for those 2 hours. Jungle Book would air during the time, and it was one of those shows that had good characters, solid character development, and the theme song still resonates with many of us who come from that generation. It was so popular here that they had it translated in many Indian languages. As far back as I can remember, every Sunday morning that was the routine. Yes, it was the Japanese made version of Jungle Book that I was introduced to first, but it was almost a decade later that I saw the 1967 Disney version. I liked that version too. The animation and the narrative was a little different, but the main story was the same. So as you can see that I have been watching Jungle Book since a long time back, and I have fond memories of Jungle Book. So when I heard that there was a new Jungle Book coming up, I was very excited to see it. This movie is directed by Jon Favreau and has an impressive cast of voice actors like Neel Sethi as Mowgli, Bill Murray as Baloo, Ben Kingsley as Bagheera, Idris Elba as Sher Khan, Scarlett Johansson as Kaa, Lupita Nyong'o as Raksha, and Christopher Walken as King Louie. Mowgli is a young boy who is lost in the jungle after losing his biological parents. He gets adopted by a pack of wolves that look after him. They soon find out that he is a free spirit and an adventurous boy. Suddenly, Sher Khan comes to the jungle and everything changes. Here are my thoughts on this movie. The narrative of this movie is quite similar to the 1967 movie, more or less. It is quite darker than the previous one. I like the characters, especially Sher Khan and Baloo. Sher Khan's first few moments are terrifying, and they did everything right with this character. Idris Elba was a perfect for this role. Even Bill Murray's voice was a good choice for Baloo, but the relationship between him and Mowgli didn't seem to work as well as it did in the 1967 version. Overall, the voice acting is very good. The movie looks amazing. Visually, this is how a real Mowgli would look like if he's living in a jungle. The CGI animals look authentic and real. The movie pulls you in and immerses you in the jungle. Despite amazing voice acting, awesome animation, and good talent behind the camera, this film fails to capture the same charm that the 1967 version did. That brings me to another point. Mowgli. The 1967 Mowgli was innocent and was a bit of a clueless kid. This version of Mowgli is resourceful and sarcastic. At times I thought he doesn't even need a pack of wolves to protect him. Just give him a few sticks and stones, he will be able to defend himself. But that's just my opinion. The Baloo-Mowgli relationship was the best part about the 1967 movie. But in this one, we don't see the same connection. Even though many elements have been borrowed from the 1967 movie, they even have the same songs from the movie, but it doesn't seem to reach the same level that the previous one did. Don't get me wrong, it is a good movie which a whole family can enjoy, but there is something still missing. I give this movie 8 out of 10.